The undisputable powerhouse that is positioned to drive developmental growth in Nigeria from diverse perspective is the Ministerial Cabinet. Its proactive functionality and creative approach to national issues of concern is to provide solutions to the myriad of challenges bedeviling the country, both locally and internationally. What are the realities, facts and figures on ground to measure their performance in recent times? Let's find out on the Minister's platform right away. You're welcome. Fresh news update across the federal ministries, agencies and parastatals is next on Ministry News. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, on Thursday said the BBC and Daily Trust will face consequences for glorifying terrorism in their reporting. According to the minister, the recent published documentaries by the BBC and Daily Trust containing interviews with bandit warlords gives legitimacy to terrorism. The Minister of Defense, retired Major General Bashiru Salihi Magashi, said the federal government has put in place mechanism to establish a world-class military hospital akin to Walter Reed Military Hospital in the USA. The minister made this known during the workshop on reforming military health services in Nigeria, held in Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja. While declaring the workshop open and symbolically flagging off the needs assessment and strategic review project, the minister stated that there is need for a coordinated and unified system to tackle enormous challenges for the benefit of the armed forces and Nigerians. He said in realization of the need to have a wholesome reform of the defense sector, standardization of medical services for the military is of utmost priority.
When we are witnessing suboptimal performance of the armed forces health system. The armed forces health system is bedeviled with numerous challenges, necessitating the need to engage a consultant to carry out a comprehensive need assessment of the armed forces health system.
Disturbed by increasing security challenges in the country, the Ministry of Interior is planning to hold its annual security retreat to provide robust platform of engagement of critical stakeholders to address issues that pose threat to internal security. The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Dr. Shuaib Belgore, who disclosed this while addressing the members of the retreat, tasked the members to put in their best for the national assignment, urging them to surpass the achievements of the last committee by ensuring that this year's stakeholder security gathering will be a success. Belgore made reference to last edition's retreat and charged the committee to leverage monitoring and evaluation reports to improve the assignment based on recommendations and observations. The Ministry of Police Affairs has inaugurated members of the ministry's delivery task team to steer and facilitate the provision of first-hand information on the implementation status of the various policies programs being implemented in line with the present administration's 9 priority areas. This was disclosed in a press statement by the ministry's head Press and Public Relations Unit, Bolaji Kazim. The statement disclosed that the inauguration workshop was declared open by the Permanent Secretary, Mr. Temitope Fashedemi, at the Ministers' Conference Room at the headquarters of the Ministry of Police Affairs, Abuja. In the address read by the Director of Finance and Accounts, Mr. Ahandoka Emmanuel, stated that members of the technical team were carefully drawn across key agencies and departments, noting that the process of monitoring, accessing and reporting the implementation of priorities and deliverables of the ministerial mandates will be done with high sense of credibility. The Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, has said there are no immediate solutions to the lingering crisis rocking the country's aviation sector, stating that the variables impacting the crisis in the aviation sector are beyond the industry's control. The minister disclosed this during an emergency meeting with the Airline Operators Association of Nigeria, AON, in Abuja Tuesday. According to the minister, some of the solutions in view include importation of the product at appropriate price, accelerating the refurbishment of the refineries, including the much awaited Dangote refinery, to boost supply of the product. Mr. Sirika further said he will be meeting with relevant stakeholders, including the Central Bank of Nigeria, to see how the airlines can access dollars at the official market rate rather than the black market rate.
We sat today as a family to discuss, to agree on what to do, and also to approach the entities that are responsible for this so that collectively we can save the sector. 10,000 metric ton of the product was given to the airline. That helped at a controlled price, control meaning that the landing price plus their cost and a bit of margin.
The federal government has approved the lease of 3 AIRBUS and BOEING aircraft to commence domestic operations. The Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, who disclosed this at the end of the Federal Executive Council FEC meeting in Abuja, told reporters that the airline, already christened Nigeria Air, will take off soon. It disclosed that the airline will begin with domestic routes and then expand to regional and continental operations.
As to the make and type, most of them are either Airbus or they are Boeing, especially for the intercontinental and international flights. And this will start as domestic airline and then would of course grow to become regional and international, also intercontinental.
The federal government has approved 16.82 billion naira for the dualization of the 78-kilometer Kano-Katsina Road project and procured 32 operational vehicles for the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDDC. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, disclosed this on behalf of the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, to journalists after the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja. According to him, the contract was actually awarded sometime in 2019, but the contractor, having done appreciable work, asked for a review of the quality of engineering, and the contract deal was augmented with a sum of 16 billion naira, thereby revising the substitute contract from 29 billion to 46 billion, and it was awarded to CCECC of Nigeria Limited, who are actually busy on that role. Lai Mohammed also presented on behalf of the Attorney General the approval for the NDDC to purchase some 32 operational vehicles to enhance the operations. Also briefing newsmen, the Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Mr. Olamilekan Adegbite, said Council approved the Nigerian Mining Value Chain Regulation for the development of raw materials into refined products before exportation. The federal government had gotten 16 billion naira tax credit for the construction of the Lagos-Badagry Expressway. The Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, disclosed this early in the week at the headquarters of the ministry. On concerns about the delay on the construction of the Lagos-Badagry Expressway, the minister explained that the speed of work on that road, as well as some others, were dependent on the funds available for such projects. He, however, noted that work is in progress on the project. The federal government has solicited stakeholders' collaboration to bridge the housing deficit of Nigerians for the overall development in the country. Mr. Jide Ode Martins, the Director, Planning, Research and Statistics in the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, made the call at the 11th meeting of the National Council on Lands, Housing and Urban Development on Monday in Sokoto. Ode Martins said the theme of the 2022 meeting, Housing Our People by All of Government and All Our People, was chosen in a bid to further address the housing needs of Nigerians. According to him, stakeholders are expected to fine-tune the recommendations from the two-day technical meeting of directors from necessary provisions of our various institutions towards adequate housing infrastructure by government and the private sector. The Honorable Minister of Transportation, Engineer Muhazu Jaji Sambo, has appointed Dr. Abubakar Dansoho as Chief of Staff. Dansoho holds a PhD in Maritime Technology from Liverpool, John Moores University, UK, MSc in International Transport from the University of Wales, Cardiff, UK, and a BSc from the University of Maiduguri. With over 25 years professional experience in the maritime sector, it is hoped that Dansoho's appointments as Chief of Staff of the Ministry of Transport will leverage on his wealth of experience, excellent track records, and commitment to innovative approach to tackle the multifaceted challenges in the transportation sector. The federal government began the disbursement of 20,000 naira grants to poor Nigerians under the Grants for Vulnerable Groups programs Thursday. The initiative, which was done through the National Social Investment Program, kick-started in the Federal Capital Territory, which is expected to progress to the 36 states of the Federation. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Farouk, disclosed this in Abuja at a parley with stakeholders on the implementation of the GVG program. The minister said the program was introduced in 2020 to sustain the social inclusion agenda of the federal government, as this was consistent with the national target of lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years.
We hope to see petty traders, peasant farmers, artisanal workers and other beneficiaries of this program, including people with disabilities, to prosper.
The World Health Organization, WHO, has declared its commitment to support the full implementation of the National Health Insurance Authority (NHIA) Act, which was recently signed into law in Nigeria. The WHO Technical Officer on Health Financing, Fadi Dikimi, made the announcement when he led a delegation that paid a courtesy visit to the Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Ehanire, in Abuja. While expressing commitment to support the operationalization of the recently signed NHIA, Dikimi added that the visit was to fashion out possible ways to effectively operationalize the NHIA Act for the benefit of Nigerians. On his response, the Minister of Health commended the WHO team, saying the gesture was a welcome development. The minister further solicited investment and a higher level of care at the suburban level in order to achieve universal health coverage. The Minister of Youth and Sports Development tough stance on anti-doping measures and the increase in the number of tests carried out by the National Anti-Doping Agency, NADA, has earned Nigeria the commendation of the Athletics Integrity Unit. In commending Nigeria, David Holman, chairman of the AIU, said he was pleased to see significant improvements in the efforts to clean up the sport. The Minister of Sports, Sunday Dare, who has been the driving force in the push to improve Nigeria's anti-doping status and image, says the AIU's commendation is confirmation that the ministry is doing something right. And finally, on ministry news, the federal government has reiterated its unwavering support towards the implementation of the National Gender Policy on Agriculture. The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Mohammad Mahmoud Abubakar, made this known recently when he received members of the National Gender Steering Committee, led by the Action Aid Country Director, Ms. Eneobi, in his office in Abuja. Dr. Abubakar commended the steering committee for its great achievement towards creating visibility and awareness, especially in translating the national gender policy in local languages to ensure the domestication of the policy in some states of the Federation. In a remark, the country director, Action Aid Nigeria, said that the national gender policy was an assertive document which recognized the limitations of growth and development of the agricultural sector. She pointed out how female farmers have been supported by different ministries through Action Aid Nigeria with agricultural produce and training programs throughout states of the Federation for subsidized rates. Let's share with you the business of governance from the presidency on the minister's platform. Over 48 hours after the Presidential Brigade Guards came under attack by terrorists, President Muhammadu Buhari summoned the service chiefs to an emergency security meeting during the week. The emergency meeting had in attendance the National Security Advisor, Minister of Defense, Major General Bashir Magashi retired, and that of the Police Affairs, Maigari Dingyadi, Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, Service Chiefs, and the Inspector General of Police. The meeting reassessed the current security situation around the country, as well as looking into ways of overcoming challenges confronting some parts of the country. The presidency has called the bluff of senators from opposition parties who on Wednesday issued a 6-week ultimatum to President Muhammadu Buhari to tackle the security challenges bedeviling the country. Presidential spokesman Femi Adesina, who stated the position of the presidency to the media, opined that the statements were merely playing to the gallery, adding that there is not much they will do after the drama which played out in the upper chamber. While acknowledging that every Nigerian needs to be concerned about the security situation of the country, Adesina still declared that if the senators are only troubled at this time because some incidents are now closer to them in Abuja, then there is nothing altruistic about their actions. President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed his displeasure over the degenerated working conditions of judges and the state of the judiciary, promising to take positive steps to properly nurture, maintain, and improve the arm of government in order to deliver on its very pivotal constitutional duties. The president spoke Thursday at the State House during a visit by the chairman and representatives of the body of benches. He therefore promised to act quickly on the report of the committee he set up on his own back in 2018 to review the welfare and working conditions of the judiciary.
Issues highlighted are serious and will be treated as such. Let me assure you that the issues will be given due and urgent attention within the resources available to the government. This administration is committed to the welfare of judicial officers and the advancement of their condition of service.
President Muhammadu Buhari Thursday declared that the implementation of the forensic audit report of the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) was already being implemented in phases, assuring that the process will soon usher in a new management and board for the commission. The president will disclose this in his keynote address at the opening ceremony of a 2-day top management retreat organized for its officials and those of the NDDC by the Ministerial of Niger Delta Affairs. Also promised to complete the East-West Road before the end of his administration, directing the NNPC and its subsidiaries to step in and fix Section 4 of the road Eleme roundabout of One Junction through the tax credit scheme. The president, who was represented at the retreat, which was held at the State House, Abuja, by the Minister of Transportation, Muazu Jaji Sambo, noted that the federal government has made huge commitments to the Niger Delta region in furtherance with its desire to give the people a new lease of life. President Muhammadu Buhari also ordered the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs to take over the Ogoni oil spill cleanup exercise from the Ministry of Environment. On his part, the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs promised to reposition the ministry and the NDDC.
Fraudulent practices and violations of the procurement laws will be met with appropriate sanctions as stipulated in the Public Procurement Act. I'm prepared to give all the support required for project delivery, but be informed that I would also enforce the full weight of the law to penalize offenses such as contract splitting, contract duplication, multiple payments for same job, and all related forms of sharp practices.
And finally, from the presidency, President Muhammadu Buhari Thursday received a delegation from the Open Government Partnership OGP Support Unit led by the Chief Executive Officer Sanjay Pradhan, during which he itemized the benefits Nigeria has derived from joining the transparency body in 2016. The president noted that since he committed Nigeria to be a member, his government has developed and implemented 2 national action plans on the Open Government Partnership, with a plan to sign the 3rd action plan in August. He further noted that since being a partner, the country's budgeting processes have become open, citizen-centered and participatory. All stakeholders with regards to transparency, including the public, are involved in the country's budget-making process, and Nigeria has been ranked among the best improved countries for transparency in the latest Global Open Budget Survey.
To reaffirm this government's unwavering commitment to the Open Government Partnership, the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, and other global government standards that promote transparency, accountability, and combating corruption.
Since the assumption of office as the Federal Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Ali Pantami has positively revolutionized the communications and digital economic sector of the country. Let's talk with the Honorable Minister to ascertain unprecedented achievements of the ministry under his leadership. Today, Nigeria has witnessed a revolution in the telecommunications and digital economy sector of the country. And of course, this to a large extent has changed the fortunes of the Nigerian economy. And of course, one ministry that is saddled with the responsibility to shape the destiny of this country in this sector. We're talking about the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy. So let's welcome the Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Ibrahim Pantami. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
To propel the country towards attaining a vibrant digital economy, the federal government, through the ministry, unveiled a roadmap in the form of a national digital economic policy and strategy, 2020 to 2030. What is the success story of this policy so far, and what are the challenges?
Thank you very much, my brother, for giving me the privilege to discuss about our journey so far with regards to digital economy in Nigeria. And I welcome you and your esteemed team to our office here in the Digital Economy Complex in Bora, Abuja. You could recall that we were appointed as ministers officially on the 21st of August 2019. The first thing I did was to have an engagement with the CEOs of parastatals under the ministry to identify what they were implementing and the gaps, and to come up with new initiatives that will make the sector more vibrant. After my engagement with them for at least 1 week, I discovered that what was missing in Nigeria and in the ICT sector then was digital economy. And digital economy is strongly recommended to have its own ministry or to have its own special office for its coordination by many institutions like World Economic Forum, European Union, and many more. And that is why in countries like Scotland, like Thailand, and many more, you will discover there is a Ministry of Digital Economy. After the review, I went to His Excellency, Mr. President, to brief him. And he was convinced that there was a need to have a ministry that will champion the implementation of a digital economy in Nigeria. Based on his directives, I sent a proposal to him, and it was approved on the 17th October 2019, and it was presented before the Federal Executive Council on the 23rd October 2019. A day after, that is 24th October 2019, we commenced the implementation. And that day happens to be the National Digital Economy Day in Nigeria. We commemorate and celebrate and create awareness about digital economy on the 24th October of each and every year. I set up a team of experts from government, industry, from academia, using the triple helix model, where we brought all stakeholders together to come up with a policy. I led the team that developed the policy, particularly these three key stakeholders: government officials, industry, and academia. The policy was reviewed and enhanced significantly, and His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari launched and unveiled the policy on the 28th of November 2019 at the International Conference Center here, Abuja. When the policy was being crafted, the implementation commenced immediately, because there are key issues that are very static. Wherever you go, they must be accommodated. Also, we developed another roadmap. There are two different documents. There is National Digital Economy Policy and Strategy for a Digital Nigeria, acronym INDEPS. And there is roadmap for the implementation of INDEPS. That roadmap brought out some key initiatives to be implemented so that we can achieve the key objectives of the main policy, the actionable plan. In the policy, there are 8 pillars. Number 1 is developmental regulation. Number 2 is digital skills and literacy. Number 3 is solid infrastructure. Number 4 is service infrastructure. Number 5 is digital services promotion and development. Number 6 is soft infrastructure. Number 7 is digital society and emerging technologies. Number 8, indigenous content development and promotion. These are the 8 pillars, and these 8 pillars cover almost 99% of what the sector requires. And all these policies today are being implemented. Developmental regulation, we have developed so many regulatory instruments through the regulatory institutions and parastatals we supervise. We have many regulatory instruments developed by the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA. Many have been developed by Nigerian Communications Commission. We also have regulatory instruments with National Identity Management Commission. These are the regulatory bodies we have, and it is their mandate to be guided and directed to develop the regulatory instruments. We use the word developmental in order to change the perception of our citizens. Most probably using the adjective developmental, we could be the first country in the world to introduce what we call developmental regulation.
There are significant achievements your office has made. Let's look at your ministry moving to accelerate the deployment of 5G services in the country with the approval of an enterprise licensing agreement for Microsoft products and clearing up of C-band spectrum. Can you tell us more? Because it's a major landmark achievement. And to what extent will this move change the industry and the economy?
Microsoft is not playing any role directly in 5G, but is playing a significant role when it comes to providing digital services and also digital skills and literacy. The president of Microsoft, Brad Smith, was in Nigeria less than 3 months ago. He visited President Muhammad Buhari, and after that he came to my office here. We had a meeting with him. We have an agreement with the Microsoft to train young Nigerians. Based on the agreement, as part of their corporate social responsibility, they will provide digital training, advanced digital training and intermediate trainings to a minimum of 5 million citizens in Nigeria for free. This is indeed very commendable. The recent agreement is not for the deployment of 5G, but we discovered that many institutions of government are purchasing Microsoft license in their activities, NNPC, CBN, many more. And huge amount of money is being spent in that manner. And they are doing it alone. Sometimes there is too much duplication. Sometimes the price is not negotiated the way it is supposed to be. So Microsoft has different agreements. If your institutions want, they can purchase it one by one. If you like, as a government, you can have an agreement with Microsoft, you negotiate the price so that you can have universal service agreement that each and every institution of government that wants to purchase Microsoft will leverage on that agreement you have and purchase it. With this, firstly, it will reduce costs. Based on our computation, it will reduce government spending by 36%. That is minimum, the amount being spent. Number two, it will enhance the quality. Why? Because Microsoft, if it is true government, it will continue to provide support after sales. And thirdly, also, you will be able to avoid duplication. By avoiding duplication, you will save another huge amount of money beside what I earlier mentioned. And there was an agreement like or similar to that in 2006, that is, which is around 16 years ago, but it was not sustained. But now we want to sustain it. That is what brought about the whole argument. It's not in any way saying that each government institution must patronize Microsoft. It is optional. As we all know that 5G is not just a technology today. It is just like a revolution in the digital economy sector. It has been deployed in so many developed countries. In the US, there is 5G. In the UK, in South Korea, for example, there is 5G. In so many European countries, they have deployed 5G. Our journey for the deployment of our 5G in Nigeria commenced since the time I became a minister. Officially, it commenced around October or late September and early October, a month after our appointment. Through NCC, we granted the approval to MTN to kickstart the process of trial for 5G deployment in Nigeria. So we did the trial. I personally did the trial here in Abuja on the 25th of November 2019. We did the trial in Abuja and few other cities like Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Ibadan. 3-month trial. After the trial, we reviewed the report of the trial with all the major findings from the trial, and the report was very positive. Early 2020, many of our citizens were worried, linking 5G to COVID-19 pandemic. As a responsible government, no matter how you think people do not understand a technology, you cannot ignore their genuine complaints. We put the process on hold and directed NCC to engage our citizens and create more awareness, and at the same time, we also make more consultations. So as I'm talking to you today, we are almost done with the 5G trial. We have auctioned 5G in Nigeria, and things being equal, 5G 4 will be deployed in Nigeria in the next 1 month. Most probably around August, we will have 5G for commercial services. And there are so many benefits. It will significantly drive our digital economy because of that high quality and very fast broadband that is very high. We will require that in our major cities like Abuja here, like Lagos, Port Harcourt, Kaduna, Kano. These are some places where you need high quality broadband with very high speed. So I think it's very important, and 5G will allow you to have real-time communications in education, in health. With 5G, even remote surgery can be conducted. A surgeon or a medical doctor could be in the US or in China or in Dubai or in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, will be able, with a patient in Nigeria, you will be able to conduct a surgery. With 5G, most probably, you will not have much problem with your family going for holiday. 5G will allow you to have a virtual holiday. You sit at home in Abuja or in Lagos with your family using augmented reality and virtual reality. You take them for a holiday virtually to London, to New York, Washington, to Dubai. Wherever you want to go, you can do virtual holiday. So these are some of the benefits of 5G. In agriculture, is applicable. It will enhance digital agriculture or smart agriculture.
So that's it on Talking with the Minister for this moment. The Minister's platform will continue in a moment. The National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, is our focus on our ministry, agencies, and parastatals in focus segment this week. Let's bring you facts you need to know about the NBC. The National Broadcasting Commission was set up on August 24, 1992 by Decree 38 of 1992, later amended as an act of the National Assembly by Act 55 of 1999 and now known as National Broadcasting Commission Laws of the Federation 2004, Cap N11, to, among other responsibilities, regulate and control the broadcasting industry in Nigeria. The Commission, in its advisory capacity to the federal government, regularly adopts scientific research methods to gather data, analyze trends in line with the dynamism of the industry, and advise government accordingly. It is also the responsibility of the Commission to receive, process, and consider applications for the establishment, ownership, or operation of radio and television stations, including cable television service, direct satellite broadcast, and any other medium of broadcasting, radio and television stations owned, established, or operated by the federal, state, and local government, and stations run under private ownership. The NBC recommends these applications after due consideration through the Minister of Information to the President for the grant of radio and television licenses. In summary, the critical functions of the National Broadcasting Commission includes assisting in spectrum management, advising the federal government on good policy making, licensing and supervision of broadcasting cooperation, accreditation of broadcasting related courses in tertiary institutions. The NBC also plays a role of arbitration of broadcasting code. The NBC also issues and enforces the broadcasting code. It equally undertakes research and development in the industry, standardization of broadcasting practices, and finally, regulation of broadcasting content. The NBC is currently under the able leadership of Balarabe Shehu Ilela, a veteran broadcaster and politician with over 30 years of experience working in various capacities in the industry. He has extensive knowledge of national and international broadcasting laws.
The fact that there are no strict laws that governs or guides tenants.
For like 2 years now, and I have not seen one person ask me to pay 1 year.
I like this city because of the opportunity, job opportunities.
About the Osun election, it's clear that Nigerians are getting wiser. The electoral population is evolving into another generation entirely. And it's only a foolish party that will not take the populace serious right now. People's votes are going to get more counted than before. So any serious party should sit tight and have the interests of the masses at heart.
It's beyond just an election. It's okay that the people, they love Senator Adeleke and they love his family and they are rooting for him, they want to vote for him. But beyond that, I think it's gone past the days where you vote for people just because you love those people. This is the time for the man to put the love that these people have shown him. He should go back to his drawing board and do some meaningful things that, he will leave a legacy that people can really see, going forward, so that tomorrow, such love can be shown to other people like that, because this is the time to show to the people that this love that you have put on me, I will not let you down. Doing some visible things, or should get very, very small allocation, but in the midst of that, I think that something can still be done. It's not a party thing now, it's not about APC, it's not about Labour Party. We are going for people that we think can make a change.
Number one, it was very peaceful. Then number two, it is also a way of proving to the political money bag that Gone are the days that you use money to buy the conscience of people to vote you into an elected office. It is an implication that when you are given the opportunity and the privilege to represent your people, you must make a mark in their life so that they will have every sense of belonging. That is exactly what has been displayed in Osun election.
I think it was a free and fair election. I'm encouraging our government, if they can continue like this, I think this country will be a better country. Like you see what youth are saying, that they must make sure that their vote counts. The only way we can stop all this corruption is when you vote, make sure that your vote counts, monitor it to the end. So if our youth can continue what they did in Osun State, I think this country will be a better country.
That election is very fantastic, and I think it gladdened the heart of the people. The election shows that Nigerians is now getting wiser every day, that nobody can fool anyone any longer. And as it is now, that election cannot give us how the general election will look like, in the sense that nobody can say, I am the Alpha and Omega of Nigeria. So with this now, I think we should be able to look at a better Nigeria in future.
Keeping Nigerians abreast with latest developments and occurrences at the ministerial level of governance is our paramount concern on the Minister's platform. Join us again next week to talk about good governance on the Minister's platform. Thanks for watching.